Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Tammy.
Welcome to our home. How are all of you doing tonight? I see we've got Camden and Pinky Sands. Just thought I'd start out here tonight. We're going to talk about what we do with our bag that we carry into the park. Hopefully, there wasn't any confusion there. But what we're going to talk about is the bag that we actually carry on our back throughout the day. And so what we've done is we've kind of packed our bag right here, just like we would if we were going to go into the park. And so we're going to talk about that with you all and maybe find out what you all use in your bags and, help one another out. Maybe there's something that you guys are taking or that we take that you guys haven't thought about that might help the day. Just be a little bit better when you're at Disney World. So to start with, how is everybody handling Disney not being open and having to stay in your homes? I'm sorry, I hit the table, didn't I?
Well, I'm handling it like I'm starting to get a little bit of cabin fever, personally.
I could only imagine how much cabin fever other people are getting because at least you and I go to work every day.
That's true.
And so neither one of our jobs are going to shut down, most likely. Even if mine does, I live 100 yards from my job. I can walk there and nobody else will be there. I can just work all day. But Tammy, she works for the government, so she would have to go to work.
I don't really work for the government.
Well, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. Anyhow, hi, Becky. How are you? Those joining us, we are going to talk about what we pack in our Disney bag when we're going to Disney into the park. And so we have a bag kind of mocked up for that.
We do.
Before we get going, I want to show y'all something. Old Tammy here has took up a new hobby in the midst of our big lockdowns. So y'all tell us, what do you think of her painting here? So Tammy and Allison helped a little bit with this one because Allison did the eyes.
She did, yes.
And then Tammy did the rest of Dumbo here. Now this is one that we are going to send to Lance, but Tammy kind of took up a little bit of painting during this process. So what do y'all think of Tammy's painting?
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's very nice of you. Allison also liked it. She messed it up, but you fixed it.
That's right, yeah.
All right, she has one of the Mandalorian I'll bring out later, right towards the end. And so we'll see what you guys think about that one. All right, so getting started. This is a bag that was given to me by Lance maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
And so maybe 2 months at the most. But we actually haven't carried this particular bag into the park. We normally carry a little bit more of a narrow bag, but taller. And so it has some side pockets. And so we pack it out a little differently. But I thought this is a Disney themed bag, so we should use it and it'll work out great. So why don't we start unpacking the bag? If you guys have any questions about anything, certainly write them up and we'll try and check them out along the way. And so, Tammy, you pull out the stuff and hand it to me and I'll lay it out over here on the table and we'll show it to them as we're going.
Yeah. So when we go to the parks, one of the things that I'm really particular about is I like to be prepared when I go in. I like to, if we're going to be in the park all day long, I want to have things that I need or want to use or are going to be helpful during the park. So that's what this bag is kind of represents, is just being prepared for anything. So, and you guys let us know if there's anything in particular, like Chris said, that y'all pack in your bags that maybe we don't mention.
Right. So, hey, Mike, nice to see you.
Hi, Mike. All right. So the first thing that we're going to pull out is our umbrella. So in Florida, it rains just randomly. And so a lot of times we'll look at the weather ahead of time because we don't like to pack extra things in our bag if we don't have to, because that just adds extra weight to it. But if there's a percentage of rain or we think that it may rain, we always pack our umbrella in our bag because it's just good to have. And then along with that umbrella.
And it doesn't have to be, while she's digging it out, it doesn't have to be a Disney umbrella or some fancy umbrella. This one actually isn't very tall off the body. And to be honest with you, it's very easy to carry, but they make them even smaller.
Yeah.
The key is just to have something, because when Florida rain hits, you could be, and this has actually happened to us. We were walking between the Lion King show and Pandora, and we were going to the Pandora, not Flight of Passage, the Navi River. And we were on the way, and it started raining. And before you could get back to one or the other, you're soaked.
Yes.
And so we suggest carrying a
umbrella.
Umbrella.
And then micro, do you guys do ponchos? We do. We always pack a poncho in there. But depending on what season you go, sometimes it's good to have an umbrella and a poncho. We one time just packed ponchos, and it was like torrential rain. And the poncho was great. It worked fine. But we had an umbrella in our room, and so the next day we put the umbrella in our backpack, and it was nice to have the poncho and the umbrella. So we always do ponchos and the umbrella if it's going to rain, just because you just never know how it's going to be in Florida.
And thanks for the 3 people who liked the video so far. We appreciate that.
And then the next thing we have is we always bring a water bottle. I know you can get free water at Disney, but they give you the really small glasses. And so it's nice to, in the morning before we go to the resort, you can still fill it with ice and water. And this is insulated, so this will last us with ice and water all day. And then usually the kids can run up to one of the, refreshment stands and get a glass of water. We can pour it in here, and then we can take it along with us into the rides or wherever, because it's important to stay hydrated, especially in the heat.
What we think it does the most is whenever you go in and you have to stand in line, and then you're going to get a cup of water, and you could get 2 cups. They don't mind. Each person can get 2 cups. So we do that. We get 2 cups each, and then we use one for drinking, and the next one we pour into our water bottle, so that whenever we get thirsty again, we don't have to sit in the line again.
Yeah, because
you save half your line time by getting 2 waters at each stop.
Now, it depends on where you go too. Like, for example, a lot of times Casey's Corner will have water just lined up on the counter. You can go grab it. But then there's other places, like, I don't know, if you're at maybe, I don't know, where's another place? Like,
you're talking about like Tony's Town Square, or Tony's restaurant there.
No, I'm thinking of other places that don't have water just sitting out, and you have to sit and wait in line.
Oh,
Columbia Harbor House, a lot of times they don't have water, and you got to sit and wait in line because you don't want to be rude and cut in front of people. Because
Pecos Bills, if you were to go in there, they don't have it sitting
there. A lot of times they don't, but it just kind of depends. I just know that Casey's almost always has water sitting out, and so we like to just swing in there, grab the water, and just go, and you don't have to wait in line. But other places, you may have to wait in line because you don't want to be rude and jump in front of someone else.
After all, you've spent thousands of dollars to be at Disney. No one wants to spend thousands of dollars to stand in line any more than they have to.
Yeah.
And so the water bottle keeps you moving, and doesn't take up that much space.
Absolutely. The next thing we like to bring is baby wipes. I always keep baby wipes in my bag. And then I keep, also I like to keep disinfectant wipes, because sometimes tables are dirty and things like that, or, different reasons why you would want this. Just
sometimes
in case.
You're at Epcot. Let's just face the facts. It's late at night. One of their festivals is going on, and you've gone to a stand and you've gotten something to eat, and there's no tables. And so the nearest trash can top becomes your table. And so that disinfectant wipe is pretty life-saving in those moments.
Yeah. Camden said Starbucks always has water. That's true.
That's true.
They'll give you a big cup if you ask for it.
That's exactly right. But we have to stand in line for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
and then, like I said, always baby wipes in case someone has dirty fingers or dirty hands. It's nice to have. It's nice to have baby wipes.
Yeah.
We like to carry them just for that reason.
You never know. You're gonna sit down and get some gum. I mean, I know Disney doesn't sell gum, but people bring it into the parks. People chew it and people spit it, and you never know. Just something. Run your hand across a rail and some bird pooped there. You got that handy. You don't have to go seek a bathroom out right away.
Yeah. And then the next thing we like to bring are cooling towels. Now, we have been to Disney many a times, never used a cooling towel. Our very last trip, when we went in July, We knew it was going to be super, super hot. So we went out and we bought cooling towels. These were amazing. I'm telling you, I think we paid $5 for them on Amazon.
Yeah, I think so.
And they are absolutely amazing to have. They will keep you so much cooler. Chris would take his and wet it in the bathroom and then put it on he would put it underneath his hat.
And then it draped down over my neck and keep my ears from the sun.
Yes.
Cool my head down all at the same time.
They're amazing.
Worth every bit of $5. And you just go in the bathroom. You don't have to have ice cold water. It stays firm like this as long as it's dry.
That's
but
right.
when you wet it,
it immediately becomes soft.
Limp and soft, and it's pliable in any way you need.
Yeah.
So we would firmly say that these are great. By the way, everything we show you, nobody sponsors us. We're not anything that big, but these are good items. And so we would suggest getting a cooling towel. These are called Innovation is who put these out, just so you know.
We, of course, always have our pin. These are little pin books Chris made. And he has a video on how to make them if you're interested. But this is just a little thin pin book that a lot of times we'll throw in the bag. It's lightweight, easy to carry.
That's right. It'll actually fit in a back pocket of a pair of blue jeans.
Yeah.
And so I've done that with it too. So either way, it's just an easy way to still be able to trade pins and not take up all your backpack space.
That's right. And then we, of course, always have hand sanitizer in our bag. You know, if sometimes you're eating a snack and you don't have a bathroom, or maybe there's a line in the bathroom, it's just a quick way to kind of sanitize your hands. And always, especially at Disney,
always sanitize.
Always sanitize your hands. Because if you're touching rails or whatever, you want to make sure that your hands.
You got to think, if you're on a roller coaster and you pull that bar down, everybody that's been on that roller coaster before you all day long has grabbed that same bar in the same basic vicinity and pulled it down on them.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get germs all over you.
Absolutely.
And it's not good, healthy germs by any stretch. It's some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And so just to keep from getting sick, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Camden said frog togs are great. They are great. We actually have another one of those cooling towels.
That is a frog tog, yeah.
Yeah, that's a cooling towel as well. And then my poncho is made by that.
Poncho was a frog tog also.
All right. The next thing we put in our bag, and this may seem a little strange, but we put deodorant in our bag.
It's not strange.
We just like to have it in there because none of us like to smell. If you've ever been to Disney,
people stink all over the place.
They smell terrible sometimes. We are just not, we don't like to stink. So we carry deodorant in our bag. We put it on in the morning, yes, but just because you're sweating so much, it's just something we like to have in our bag.
Especially if you wear a deodorant that's not an antiperspirant, then this works wonderful.
Yes.
You just reapply, keep moving.
That's right. And then, of course, Chris always likes to have his trusty GoPro.
This is works awesome on the ride.
Yes. So, and that may be for you, maybe not a GoPro.
Maybe not.
It may be a camera.
Yeah, maybe your cell phone if you don't want to have it in your pocket.
Or a video camera or something like that. But those items are always good, of course, to put in your backpack and carry around in the park.
We carry another bag other than our backpack that holds our big camera when we're going to take it in the park. But if we're not taking it in the park, this goes in a backpack or in a fanny pack, one of the two.
Yeah. And then we like to have Gold Bond. If you ride water rides or you're just in the park all day.
Sweaty,
chafing.
Anything can happen.
This is a lifesaver and will help you not feel so much discomfort.
If you start having problems of chafing between your thighs about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you're staying till 11 and you don't have this, by the next day, you don't want to walk.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very good item to take with you into the park just to keep yourself from having to no longer have as much fun the rest of your trip.
And I always recommend putting it in a plastic bag because even though it has a closed top on it,
it leaks sometimes.
It leaks for whatever reason. And so it keeps your bag from getting all this powder all over it. So just a good idea.
And we're not saying Gold Bond, the company, is the only kind you can have. We're just saying some sort of a chafing powder or something.
And then we, of course, we always put sunscreen on before we go to the park. So we highly recommend just protecting yourself with sunscreen. However, as the day progresses, or if you're riding water rides, you're supposed to reapply that sunscreen. And so we always take like a little small container. We Cole has a very sensitive skin, so we always bring these are little individuals, and so we can tear it off and all four of us can use it, and then we can just chunk it and we don't really have to carry it. So these are great.
And Becky, we agree. Extra Ziploc bags.
Yes,
I think
we have that in our backpack. We always bring a couple of extra
for multiple reasons. If you're there, I know my newer phone has like this water, damage your phone, or maybe you've got other things in your pocket you don't want to get wet. Ziploc bags just never a problem.
Yeah,
it's always helpful.
It's a good idea. And my kids, sometimes when we go to restaurants,
they want to take the rolls.
They
home,
like to take things home. So
put them in the Ziploc bag and move along. Sure do. I'm glad you remember that.
Oh, and I should have mentioned this before, but we always bring a few extra Mickey backs for our pins.
Yeah.
Just in case we lose one. It's just good to have a few extras.
Well, and if you have it in a booklet like we do and you trade with somebody, they're going to want a Mickey back. And you could say, keep your back, but sometimes they're real finicky about that. They want the back on there before they trade. And so you can always just break it out and hand them the back.
Hi, Tangled in the Magic.
Yeah. Hi, Tangled in the Magic.
All right. So the next thing we bring is someone actually gave this to us on a cruise. We did the fish extender.
Yeah.
I'm about to sneeze.
So those of you, while she's sneezing and figuring all that out, those of you who don't know what a fish extender is, when you go on a cruise, they have a little fish outside the door, which is where the name fish part of the extender comes from. And that fish has like a clasp where they hang different announcements to you. And so like if you get a letter saying you have Palo restaurant, reservations or anything like that, it'll be on that. And so it also can act as a hook, and you can hang like a made bag set with it. And so that bag set, usually has an opening, and fish extenders, you bring things and you put it in people's bags, and you have a group that you meet online and you find out all that stuff ahead of time. Anyhow, that's what we got one time, and it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
We've carried it to Disney more times than I can count.
Yeah. Rachel said, hi, Rachel, by the way.
Hey, Rachel.
She said she takes plastic sacks, like Walmart sacks, to shove the ponchos in once you've used them. That's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
Because I know that a lot of times after it rains, it's like your stuff is wet. When it finally stops, it's kind of like, oh, what do I do with all this? So, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So Tangled in the Magic, if you're talking about the cruise and the fish extender thing, the way to find out more information about that is you can Google it, and then you can figure some more information about how that works. But if you're going to take a cruise, you look up Disney Cruise and put your cruise date in when you Google that, or when you look it up on Facebook, and there'll be a Facebook group. If it's not one created, you can create it, and they will allow you to create a Facebook group just for that.
So back to the little box that I have. It's our little first aid box. So inside the box, I put Band-Aids in there because if anyone gets a blister, it's a miserable day without a Band-Aid, which you can always go to the first aid center and get some of these little items. But it's just nice if you already have them. You don't have to stop and go back to the first aid station. But I have all sorts of sizes of Band-Aids. Actually, lots of Band-Aids. I keep Benadryl. I keep Tylenol. I keep Gas-X. I keep, this is a hand cleaning sanitizing wipes.
Antiseptic wipes.
Yeah. And then I even keep Tylenol in here. So all little things that you may need as far as like a little first aid kit. It's just a really helpful thing to put in your backpack. And I don't want to have to carry around like an entire bottle of Tylenol or something like that. I just take a couple and stick it in my little first aid kit so that I have something in my bag.
Right. Your bottle of Tylenol, your other bottles of things like that, just leave in the room.
Right.
Just take one or two, through the day.
Yeah.
We've never ran out, and so that works out. No. We've had to use it a few times. So
yes, this is true. And I'm a girl, and I like to make sure like my makeup's fresh for pictures and different things like that periodically throughout the day. So I carry a little bitty makeup bag that may have like lipstick or like powder or something like that in it, just so that I can kind of keep my makeup
I freshen
somewhat
up 2 or
done
3
throughout the
times a
day.
day too.
It just depends on how hot as to how concerned I am about that.
Thanks to everyone else who has liked and brought us up to 7 likes. We appreciate that.
And then we also like to bring little flossers. I don't carry the entire bag. I usually will take it either a little baggie and put a sandwich baggie and put a couple in it. But after you eat, I always like to have some sort of floss in my bag to make sure that my teeth are clean.
Listen, this is an area where you can take a few extra. Don't share these. That's gross.
No, don't. No. And then, of course, we always bring snacks. My kids get hungry throughout the day, and we don't like to spend a ton of money on snacks. Now, don't get me wrong. We'll always, periodically throughout a trip, we'll eat a Dole Whip, or we'll eat something that they like, specialty. But we don't do that every single day because, first of all, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. It's not good to eat things like that every single day. And secondly, it's just really expensive to do that. So that for those reasons, we don't do that personally. So we like to carry little snacks with us to kind of keep everybody, full and satisfied while they're in the park, and to stave away the
on that idea. One of the things I would suggest is when you start out your trip, decide these are kind of some of the snacks we're going to do. Like we always know we're going to do a Dole Whip or a Dole Whip float, whichever one of the people in our family like what. We're going to do one of those during the trip. But then, we think, well, what else are we going to do? Well, we know if Beaches and Cream is open, we're going to slide in there one day when we're over at Epcot, and we're going to get an ice cream. And so we think ahead and we say, well, I don't want to eat too many things. I want to save out and figure out what I want for sure. Yeah. So we would suggest as you go to the park and you experience more things, decide, hey, I want to try this and I want to try that. Now, I know if it's your first trip, our first trip, we ate snacks every single day in the park, and we lived it up because we thought we may never come back, but we came back. Yeah. And so.
All right. So the next thing, Camden said, yeah. He said, if you want to buy a lot of snacks, I recommend the Disney dining plan. Yeah, probably a good idea. If you're going to eat a lot of snacks and things like that, it would probably end up saving you money if you're going to buy some of the more expensive snacks for sure.
Well, and that does depend on what snacks you're getting, because some snacks aren't included in the Disney plan.
Yeah, that's
just depending on what they are.
This is true.
But a lot of them are. And so.
All right. So another thing that we like to make sure is in our bag is chapstick.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good idea to have chapstick in your bag just so that your lips are, staying moistened and they're not getting dried out.
Because when you're out in the heat all day, especially if it's windy at all, your lips will chap a lot faster than you're used to if you're working inside.
Yeah.
And so just think
and
I
like to make sure that your chapstick has a little SPF in it because it's important to make sure your lips are protected as well. And then Chris and I always like to make sure we have some Tums. We rarely use them, but
every now and then. When you need them, you need them.
Yeah. And it's just a good idea because if you have to buy those things in the park,
they're expensive.
They're a lot more expensive. So I like to make sure that I have those items.
I've never taken over a 12 pack on a trip, and I've never used all that I had. That being said, I don't know what your gastrointestinal issues might be, but I don't get heartburn very often, but it does happen on Disney trips because a lot of times you're eating foods you're just not used to eating. Yeah. You're just not used to eating that much meat maybe, or that much grease or something like that. And so I would highly suggest taking some sort of an antacid.
And then our family likes to chew gum, and so Disney does not sell gum. So if you are a gum chewer and you like to chew gum, I recommend putting that in your bag.
And if you're taking it because you want to have decent breath around everybody, gum works well for that. But if you're not a gum chewer, just take you a little travel-sized bottle of mouthwash, and you can swig a little bit and move on after your lunch.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Yep, very true. And then we always bring a power bank for our phones, because if you're videoing a lot or you're taking a lot of pictures, or if you're in line and you're bored and you're playing on your phone or playing games, I see a lot of families do whatever this game is where you say the word here and you have everyone guess it. I forget what it's called, but different games that they play, it's a good idea to have an extra power bank so that you can keep your devices charged up.
Yeah, we choose this one, or I choose this one because this holds up to 2 charges in it.
Yeah.
But you just have to figure out what you have and what you have available. I know a lot of people do the one at Disney that's a fuel rod, and you buy it for like $30, and you used to could do it for free, and then for a while, for a short period of time, you couldn't do it for free. The last I heard, it's still free again now to refill it, and so I don't know if that's still the case or not. But those fuel rods seemingly do well, because you can just trade them out whenever you finish using them, but you're still going to have one that you're carrying.
Yeah.
So
Camden and Allison tell me this game is called charades. So thank you guys.
A new spin on an old game.
Yeah.
Or a new twist on an old game.
And then Allison Allison likes to make sure that she gets autographs. She likes to have the characters autograph the autograph book. So we always keep an autograph book in our bag so that she's able to get the autographs.
Yeah, now that autograph book's for Disneyland, but be honest with you, I would just take it to Disney World, or just take some sort of other little notebook. I think I have one right over here. Let me grab it.
Oh, Becky said that Heads Up is a version 2. Oh, okay. I'm going to look that game up because I see people playing it all the time in line, and it looks like a lot of fun. Because a lot of times we're in line and we're all just doing our own thing, or we'll be talking about different things. So I think playing a game would be a lot of fun. We've brought a few things with us before to do in the line, but I agree, Camden. It does. It helps pass the time. And then Camden asked what we do for pin bags in the park.
Well, I'll tell you, Camden. I pack them on my back like a mule in its own bag. So this is a bag that we take no matter what we're doing. And Tammy usually carries it if it's a big pin trading day. Now, the way I handle that, and then I'll get back to this book. The way I handle that is I can fit a couple of pin books, the big books, inside of our backpack that I normally carry. Mm-hmm. And then I can even put a couple of the little ones we showed here today in this video. But it's heavy. And so I usually carry that bag, and then Tammy carries hers. And then every now and then Cole will take mine, and then every now and then Cole will take hers to give us a little bit of relief on our back. But if we're not going to a park where I think we're going to be pin trading that much, I don't bring that big bag. Mm-hmm. So like I know Hollywood Studios isn't real famous for people trading with one another. You can do it in Magic Kingdom pretty good, and you can do it in Epcot pretty good, but Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, not great for that type of a thing. So what we do is we just bring our small books on those days, and that's days we're just going to trade with cast members. And I'll even wear a lanyard and carry a couple of these small books in my back pockets. Yeah,
Chris normally just wears his lanyard, and then I have the small little Disney book that is like a purse, mm-hmm. and I use that one that I carry into the park.
Yeah.
And then Allison has a pin folio that she just got that she'll be carrying into the park. And I see that Pinky Sands says that he saw the pin folio with the handles that turn into the backpack. We've seen that one.
We have, and we know some people who have.
Yeah, and we talked about purchasing one.
But it's $60, and I've already got these other bags, and I'm just
not quite willing to.
Not quite ready to give up my $60 for it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I will eventually when I find them that are cheap. There's also another company now called Kraken that makes them, and the difference between Pinfolio and the Kraken bag is when you take your pins and you shake that page, your pins will fall out of the Pinfolio quicker than they will that Kraken bag. Yeah. I'll try and look up the link to both of those websites where you can order those, and I'll try and comment it at some point this evening in the comments after this does its buffering or whatever. But that's both something you can carry on your backpack just like a regular bag, and I would suggest that also.
Pinky Sands says she's a she. I'm very sorry.
I'm
very, very sorry.
This right here is a book that we bought. It's just open pages. And we bought several of these at the Disney store. And they're normally $18 when you're in the park because they're from the Disney parks. But these work great also for autograph books. And so that's what we bought these for, is for autograph books. And so I would even suggest getting something like this because believe it or not, when you're going through and each person, it seems, wants to sign their own page, if you're there for enough time, you'll fill this book up. Allie has filled one up and run out of space, and had to have people start signing on the same pages. And so you get one like this, and you're not going to fill this book up. There's 100 and something pages here. There's just no way you're going to meet that many characters in one trip. And so I would suggest doing something like this. Most definitely. I got these only because I bought them for $1.50 each at the Disney store on clearance. They're normally $10, but I think I gave like $2 each on these. So if anybody wants one, y'all let me know, and maybe we can do a little giveaway with one or something. So y'all comment and let me know if y'all want us to give that one away tonight. Maybe we can do that.
Camden says that he only takes one book to Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, but when I trade with like Zippity Doo Shaw, I bring all my books. My collection.
Yeah, because you want them to see them all.
Yeah. We do the same thing.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And so, there's also a spot in Epcot, if you go there, Camden, where Zippity Doo Shaw also sets up. They usually do Magic Kingdom in the morning, and then they'll do Epcot in the afternoon. And Epcot has some great pen trading, not just with Zippity Doo Shaw, but other people too. And so Alex and Joey are what their names are, just so you know. Super nice people. They're friends of ours. And so.
Yeah. Camden also said he used your binder trick. It works great. He just built it today.
Ah, very good. Great. Very good.
We're glad that it worked out well for you. We really think that it's a great way to store pens and a great way to save money too, so that you're not spending those expensive prices on some of those big books. Now, we do like to carry some of the nicer Disney books into the park because they're easy to carry.
Right.
But if you have a backpack, those books work great and pop them into your backpack. So.
Yeah, most definitely. Sometimes we've gone and taken bunches of pens with us, and then sometimes we don't. To haul 1,000 pens from Texas to Florida is difficult because you have to go through security with them and all that. So, it's kind of a toss up when we go. Am I going to take pens? Am I not? And that sort of thing. So a lot of times, if they're not either upper end traders that I may want to trade with Zippity Doo Shaw and some other people, I'll just take whatever I think I'm going to trade in the park, and then whatever I think I'm going to trade with them. Because we have the blessing of having a local pen group that we do trade with on a regular basis. And then now we're able to trade with you all online. In fact, I've sent out two trades today that we traded with some of you guys. And then I've got 2 more that are supposed to finish up, our trade here real soon. So, we're going to be trading on Thursday night, actually. And so, you guys tune in for that. It's at 8:00. So, okay, we'll do a giveaway then. Let me grab a piece of paper. It'll just be for the people in the video.
Oh, sorry. Uh-oh. There went something.
There went pins.
Uh-oh.
I knocked it over. All right, you want to write them?
Yeah.
You can use that pen or this pen, either one.
I'm going to use this pen.
All right, so yeah, sorry about that, guys. I had to go get a piece of paper, and when I did, or actually I got this cardboard box, I dropped a bunch of pins on the ground, so it happens. So what we're going to do is I'm going to scroll through here. Do you know most of them?
Mm-hmm.
And so Becky says, I like to put a brush in a big bag to fix my hair and put my ears back after a crazy ride.
That's a
That's
good
a
point.
good tip,
That
Becky.
is. That
Very
really
good
is,
tip.
yeah.
The other thing that I meant to say earlier was you don't want to overpack your bag. Now, I know Disney will deliver your stuff to your room, but a lot of times if you buy a t-shirt, it's just more hassle if you just toss your shirt in your bag. So if you'll leave your bag to where you have a little bit of extra room, you can always put it in your bag. And so that helps a whole lot. Tammy and them also have left the extra room so that they'll wear their Mickey ears, and then after maybe they get a headache from them, because you know Disney Mickey ears oftentimes will give you a headache. But after it starts to give them a headache, they'll take the ears off and put them inside of the backpack. And so you want to leave some extra room for stuff like that.
I think I just about got everybody.
So if you're in here and you haven't commented, say something so that we can make sure you're in on the giveaway right quick.
Oh, that's a good point too, Becky. And I forgot to put that in my bag, but Chris does that too. Well, he does the little glasses wipes.
Yeah, the Zeiss glasses cleaning wipes is what I use.
Yeah, she said that she likes to keep a small towel to clean her glasses after rides like Splash Mountain. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then we also, I didn't put sunglasses in there. I don't know what I'm thinking. I always wear sunglasses, especially during the day, because the sun is so bright. Sometimes it'll give me a headache from the brightness. So I always wear sunglasses too. And then Pinky Sand says that she takes tea and coffee and a thermos to leave in the car to have a nice warm drink when we leave. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea too. Something other than water throughout the day to have to drink. That's a good idea.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Okay.
All right.
So how do you want to?
So you got Pinky.
We have Pinky Sands, Becky Hicklin, Rachel Cross, Camden Stout, Mike Cross, and Tangled in the Magic.
Anybody else that their name was not called just now that wants to be in on the drawing, go ahead and comment something, and that way we know you're there. You can just do a dot if you don't, just an introvert and you don't want to say anything out loud. You can just hit a dot and go. If you're an introvert, though, right now with all this shutdown of all these places, you're in hog heaven.
That's right.
And so I'm going to say we're going to pull it up on my phone and I'll enter it in. We'll do the randomizer again. All right. Right there. Pretty random. Max number
6.
No one else commented, so we're going to go with 6. And we hit randomize. And it's 6.
6. So Tangled in the Magic.
So are you in here, Tangled in the Magic? You were number 6 on the list. So if you're still here with us, Tangled in the Magic, say something so we know to give you your stuff. If she's left, then we'll give that to somebody else.
Becky says, I put a hat in too in case I get a headache from the ears and I need to switch it out. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
It's just sometimes a good idea to wear a hat in the summer anyhow to keep some of the sun out of your face and off your face and ears. I think it's a good idea.
All right, I'm going to guess Tangled in the Magic is not in here. So we'll do it again. So number 5. Can y'all see that?
No.
I didn't think they could. There we go. Let's see.
Number 3, which is Rachel Cross.
So Rachel Cross. And so that's who we'll give the book to for the autographs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a cool book. So Rachel,
congratulations,
super cool book.
Rachel.
Glad you were able to win it. And so the way this book works, just so everyone could see, you have its correct side either way you go. So this opens and it's right, and then you flip it over and you open it and it's also correct going that direction. And so super cool book. But Rachel, we'll get this in the mail to you or something, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. Hopefully we've given you guys something to think about when you go to putting things in your bag. I know you guys have said a few things that, hey, we're thinking, hey, we might ought to put an extra hat in our bag or something like that.
Or a Walmart sack in our bag,
Yeah,
or an extra plastic bag to put stuff in. Yeah, that's a good point.
The Walmart bag's a great idea. I had never thought of that, but I know putting a wet poncho back in the bag is frustrating. We usually just throw them over our shoulder and carry them till they dry. But we appreciate y'all watching, and thank y'all for always tuning in. Yes. We'll be back on Thursday at 8 p.m. to trade pins with you. And so until then, from our house to yours.